So I am all logged in on Goodreads. I'm starting off with my number one favorite of 2018, which is Diary of the Pirate King. I know I have the physical book, I just don't feel like getting it at the moment. And the average rating that it has is 3.99, so it's still at the 4-star range, which is a good. I'm gonna get to the 1-star ratings. Let me see. The first one says, "Please don't leave me alone with this book. We both know we don't like each other and it's awkward." Oh, this is really long. I'm just gonna read the whole thing. The first part confused me a bit, but moving right along. Sometimes the DNF option isn't enough. Sometimes you just have to reinforce the idea by chunking the book in the bin in a moment of the utterly unbridled rage, to be sure. Look, I'm trying to stop being a hater, but it's just so hard when there are so many things that actively need my hate. Too many books owe me my money and go back. And time back, and this book is on the forefront of that list. I couldn't have pushed through the last 20%, but I have simply became bored with spending energy on books which do not deserve to be in the presence of my light. My Martarson drum phase needed to be over, and okay. This review is like super long, but I'm not understanding where she's coming from. Like, I understand that if she doesn't like a book, then she's allowed her own opinion, but I am just not understanding this long review. I'm gonna go to next one for the Diary of the Pirate King. Hopefully this one isn't as long. Oh, this one can end. Okay, the next one says, I have a nemesis now. I've long wondered whether the natural next step in my evil genius career is to find a nemesis. Okay, this is really strange. I have the access and time and aimly furry to direct to it. I have no problem holding long grudges for things such as he should have picked up my entire unimpressed infatuation with him during the 2 weeks in middle school, and that she started talking about how the curator at the Met is really amazing, as if that were somehow a valuable insight. No, seriously, no one is surprised that the effing curator at the effing Metropolitan Museum of Art is talented Elizabeth. Okay, I don't know how this relates to the book so far, but it goes further. Either of those two examples would be prime candidates for nemesis status, but still I held out. I think a girl always wants her first time to be with someone special. Oh my gosh, I am not understanding the first portion of this review. Not far as plotting. Okay, this part is confusing because you're saying how much you don't like Alosa, but then you're saying that you love pirates. This really makes no sense to me. Now, a book that even included a few of the 3 of these things would have been a blast and a half. Unfortunately, we didn't have a pirate at the helm. He. We had Alosa, and therefore our roster of the activities looked a lot more like of this complimenting self, gazing lustily, telling not showing, thinking about the abstract concept of coming up with a plan but decide not to. kind scenes right when they're getting interesting, complimenting self more and more and more. I hate a little soft. Okay, I get again. This whole review is making me laugh, and of course, there's another long review, so I'm not gonna read all of them. I'm just gonna get to one more for Dar the Pirate King, and then moving on to my other books. I've come to the conclusion that there are two types of grown women in the world. Those who love Disney and all of its princesses, and then there's me. I don't like it, because they have a GIF there. I'm like, okay, I never understood why people put GIFs in their reviews. I don't know how people do that on Goodreads, but anyways. I don't understand how the other half thinks, and they probably feel the same about me. That being said, I requested this from the library after seeing it being equate to a female version of Jack Sparrow, which had me immediately going. If I had known I was getting a Disney princess story, I wouldn't have wasted my time. Okay, that's not why I'm understanding this. I'm not understanding it right now, but let's see what more she has to say about this one. Who doesn't turn out to be a mermaid, but instead is... I've got about 1,000 eggs that need fertilization. I'm not understanding why people are using GIFs in this review. What the heck? I am not understanding this at all, and oh my gosh, I'm moving on. I'm moving on to the next one, guys. These are really ridiculous. Like I'm not offended by people not loving Dar of the Pirate King, which I understand, but the problem is these reviews are just people complaining about the character overall. That's just my personal opinion from reading those reviews for Dar of the Pirate King, but I'm just not understanding where they're coming from. That's just me. I'm just not understanding. I'm just these reviews are just too funny to like make it seriously make me disagree with them when I do disagree with them, but still they're not making any sense for these type of reviews for Dar of the Pirate King. Now we're moving on to Heart of Iron by Ashley Poston, and the average reviews is 3.82, which is also close to a 4-star range, and can be rated 1-star review. Oh, this type of reviews is just entertaining to me, just because we're reading 1-star reviews of our favorite books, but seeing what other people think after giving that 1-star rating is just really hilarious to me. But moving on. Okay, thank goodness that this review is really short, and this person says, God, that was boring. I just felt like I just sat in a math class for 45 minutes just staring at the board and not comprehending a thing. Okay. So glad this is off my current shelf. I had 70 pages left and I didn't even bother reading. Good riddance. Okay, I get, like, I know some people would consider other books boring, but, like, you're not explaining how it's boring. I'm just, oh gosh, this is so entertaining to me. It's not even funny. Well, it is funny because it's entertaining, but at the same time, oh gosh. DNF at page 176 on June 15, 2018. Okay, this is really strange. I kind of read this book around this time, but I ended up enjoying it. I went past that page, for Pete's sakes. There are 4 point of views, which I wasn't prepared for that for when I first read it, but that's not the point. It makes it hard to get into a story to feel invested in anyone because it changes narrators so often. There are lots of details about the world, but it feels superficial and derivative of Star Wars. Okay, that's one of the reasons why I like the book, but still not getting it. They have been saying about iron and stars, and it sounded a lot like May the Force be with you, and they have laser swords. I wasn't interested in the world. That romantic relationship between Robot and Go might have worked out, but knowing the robot's thoughts showed that it didn't have feelings for her because it can't. So her feelings towards the robots felt superficial and misguided. Are you kidding me? Gee, the two guys who hate each other but can't stop noticing how the other looks fall in love? Yep, I'm finding it too predictable and boring for the most 200 pages. I just can't get into it. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh, this is the type of reviews I've been expecting. I just think Diane and Anna are a cute couple. I just love those couples in Heart of Iron. I just don't understand how people are like, oh, they're a cute couple, but it's not gonna work out. Oh, holy. Now this is the type of review I was been looking for Dawn of the Pirate King, but no, I didn't find a lot of these type of one-star reviews for this as much as Heart of Iron. Ugh. I pushed through to the end of the list because I thought Gigarella was adorable and fantastic, but the author's world building in this story was severely lacking. I did not find that lacking! Oh my gosh! She wrote fabulous characters, but without understanding the world they resented, how do I understand how they fit together? With an assembled cast of characters like this, it is important to understand how the world environment is impacting them and their relationships with each other. I hate them giving this 1 star. I wanted to love it. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry to try to be like one of those girls that are like, I'm better than you kind of attitude. I just want to know what. That's how it was read to me. Oh gosh, I'm starting to get headache now. Oh. So now I'm moving on to Everland by Wendy Spinelli, and you guys know this is one of my favorite books, and I've read this series. I know I would have gone to Umberland, but I have to do the first book of the series first, so it would make sense to me. So the average rating for this one is 3.72. Okay, so it's I don't know what I'm trying to say anymore. Oh my gosh. But for me, just want to let you guys know, I'm a little nervous just because I love Everland so much, and it's a Peter Pan retelling, and you guys know how much I love Peter Pan, so just bear with me when I get mad on front of the camera. I don't know, but just bear with me. Nope. Not for me at all. The concept sounded wonderful. Steampunk Peter Pan retelling. Sign me up. However, I quickly found out that this just didn't fit the bill. The writing was dull, the characters were bland, the dialogue made me cringe, and the plot itself just confused me. I was not enjoying this. And I gave it 100 pages to see if it would get better, but it didn't. Also, this book was extremely sexist. Sexist? How is it sexist? Because when I read it, it wasn't sexist at all. Oh my gosh, this is driving me crazy right now, in case you guys couldn't tell. Kill me, I hardly think of anyone could leave a scratch on me, much less a girl like you. Then Pete basically tells Gwen that her gender is extinct, so it's time for her to step up and do her duty. Excuse me, plus the virus? What was even that about? Okay, this is gonna sound strange, like, from reading this, I know Pete said that this portion of the book, but I honestly did not believe that just because by knowing, I would feel like he just said that because she's the only lost girl in the group, but that's just my opinion. I just can't do this. I don't care about the ending enough to force myself to read this. which I was already having to do. Oh boy. Boy, that was a pain to read without getting angry, but I'm still laughing because, oh my gosh, this is driving me crazy, and good thing I'm doing this type of videos even though I don't know what to say. This girl's just keep bashing it like it's a piece of trash when I don't think it's a piece of trash, but still she has to write her own opinion, so whatever. This book didn't do much for me. I felt pretty detached from the story and the characters, and talk about the major instant love between Pete and Gwen. I'm not a big fan of steampunk, so this constant mentions of gears, cogs, and bolts was distracting. I'm glad I read it so I can finally take it off my shelves and pass it on to someone who enjoy it more than me. Okay, this does not explain, like, reasons why you don't like this book. This, again, it drives me crazy. It's like, you're not giving enough reason, didn't have enough reason to say that you don't like it. Ugh. Let's see what the next one says. Oh man, this was hard to get through. The writing is very immature, which incredibly chunky dialogue and nonsensical plot. Okay, that makes no sense to me. The premise is interesting, but it's poorly executed. I think that's the word. The last 4 pages or so are just heroes and villains standing around threatening each other in the most boring stand-up of all time. Also, there's a blind boy who has a sense of smell of a bloodhound, so ugh. Again, I feel like that's not enough reason to say that you don't like this, but again, people have their own opinions, but I just don't like how you have to say crap about Mole, who's the blind boy that she was talking about, and I love him in this book. So why give that so much negativity towards him? He's one of my favorite characters from Auslan, other than Gwen. Just want to let you all know, but let's move on to Neverland Wars by Audrey Greathouse. Sorry for almost butchering the name when I also talk about this book. And the average rating for it is 3.43. So, and since this book is underrated, so I'm probably expecting a lot of negative reviews, but I don't know. I haven't heard a lot of people on BookTube talk about it. That's why I recommend it to my underrated book recommendations. So, another Peter Pan retelling. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous to read, especially when it comes to Peter Pan retellings. When I read the premise of this book, I was drawn in. I loved Peter Pan as a child. I still like the story even now. So I saw this on NetGalley. I obviously had to request a copy. I surely disappointed, however, ended up DNFing this book about 26%. I have no feeling or connections with the characters. I didn't really care what happened to any of them because I felt nothing towards them. I was unable to rate any possible way. My dad was never that strict about bedtime routines, and I never faced the typical teenage problems that most others did because I was treated like an adult from a very early age. Plus, if I had acted like that, I would have been grounded until the end of time, eventually chucked out, and this one's also a long one, and oh, this one's kind of difficult just because I'm not, like, I can understand where this person's coming from, but at the same time, she doesn't understand that not all parents are the same. Some of them are strict and some of them aren't, so why complain about parents being parents, you know? A lot of parents are different than others, so The Tale of Peter Pan and the Lost Children in Neverland has always been one of my childhood favorites. I am especially fond of the Disney version too, so I was very much interested when I discovered this contemporary retelling. I even bought the Kindle version on my Android phone. Although YA Bond Book Tours had already sent me an ebook copy in exchange for an honest review. Unfortunately, this new reworking of the beloved story was simply not compelling read to me. At first, I was pulled in as an introduction to the main character Gwen when she was a toddler, was cute and enchanting. However, once the story fast forward to 16-year-old Gwen, I began to lose interest. It didn't happen right away. I enjoyed the initial interactions between Gwen and her little sister Rosemary when she was a cute, adorable kid. Gwen was appropriately protective of her, and they related well as sisters. It was later when Gwen decided to go off to Neverland to join Rosemary, who have been kidnapped by Peter Pan, and that my interest began to seriously wane. Oh my gosh. Peter Pan did not kidnap her. Rosemary decided to run away to Neverland. That was not kidnapping. Oh my gosh. The story develops, let me see how long. This is one of the other long reviews. I'm gonna move on to the next one. Oh boy. I feel like this is really entertaining, reading 1-star reviews and reacting to them. Oh my gosh, maybe I should do another one with specific favorite books in different genres. Let me know in the comments down below if you're interested, and I'll figure something out. Well, I finished it, and I'm not entirely sure how, but I did. I nearly DNF'd this thing so many times, and I honestly wish I utterly resent this book for taking up any of my brain space and time. What the heck? So where to begin? The pacing is awful. Not much happens so much of the book, and I end up skimming huge chunks of it. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Skimming through the rest of the book, that is not okay. The ending was awesome, for one, and two, that was a cliffhanger for the first book. Why skim through that ending? Oh my gosh. So that's it for me reacting to 1-star reviews for some of my favorite books. Well, mostly the books I've read last year. This was an interesting kind of video. Good thing I decided to go outside my comfort zone and just reacting to negative reviews, which I was nervous about, but I just mostly laughed at the reviews and entertained because I know everybody are allowed to have their own opinions, but these opinions just didn't make any sense to me. But if you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and comment down below if I should do more of these in the future on my channel. I'm not quite sure, but I would be willing to give this a shot again. Especially this has been a trend on BookTube lately. And if you want to follow me on social media, I have Facebook on Lostreader, and I have Twitter and Instagram on Lostreader19. I also have Goodreads, which I'll link down below. If you don't want to miss any of my new videos, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!